Up here, the wonderful Paul Scoble! Good evening.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right.
I'm not actually the cool, confident, well-adjusted person that you think is standing in front of you. I'm the ultimate case of not judging a book by its cover. Beneath this beautifully designed, sophisticated, apparently successful cover lies a small, dog-eared, badly written book of dense political theory that doesn't make much sense and probably shouldn't have been published. I've never really fitted in anywhere. Not like fitting a square peg into a round hole, more like fitting the Great Barrier Reef into a small hole. As a comedian, it helps to have common ground with other people to aid understanding, but it's difficult to have shared experiences with people if you are a clinically depressed, introverted, dyslexic, deeply anxious, insomniac, libertarian, socialist, bullet-belted, metalhead stand-up comedian with chronic middle child syndrome and anarchistic tendencies. Writing jokes that behave themselves just isn't that easy. I'll give you an example. A man walks into a doctor's surgery and says, "Doctor, doctor, help me. I feel like I'm trapped in a traditional, cliched, repeating comic narrative." And the doctor says, "Hang on, weren't you in here last week with a steering wheel down your trousers?" "Yes, I told you it was driving me nuts." Well, exactly. You're clearly making up ridiculous false ailments to waste my time. Okay. Last week I was taking the piss. But I only did that because the week before that I came in here and told you I thought I was a pair of curtains. And you laughed and told me to pull myself together. Which I thought was an incredibly blasé attitude towards serious mental illness. I think you will find that in these times of fake austerity, the Department of Health has found that the point and laugh method of treating mental illness is much more cost effective. Oh really? Oh bloody really, is it? Well, the month before that I came in here and told you I had broken bones in 2 different places. You just told me not to go back to either of those places. There's clearly something going on. What are you up to? All right, I admit it. I have been trying to stop you coming to see me. Why on earth would you do that? I want to stop you coming here because, well, look, I just think you're much, much funnier when you walk into pubs. I want a second opinion. So the doctor goes off to get one of his colleagues from the practice. Once they return, the new doctor looks the man up and down and says, No, I don't agree. I think he's funniest when he and a specific number of people with very similar traits as him attempt to change a light bulb. You see, it starts out normal, then it wanders off on its own and goes somewhere really bloody weird. When I get an idea, it's like there's a really obvious path to develop it, a path that runs straight and true in front of me. But then my unconscious goes, so it's this way then. Now, that wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for the fact that my conscious mind then goes, oh, fuck it, go on then. So, I think I have to stop worrying and just embrace the weird. So, it's taken me a while, but I am finally proud that I'm a really, really weird, clinically depressed, introverted, dyslexic, deeply anxious, insomniac, libertarian, socialist, bullet-belted, metalhead stand-up comedian with chronic middle child syndrome and anarchistic tendencies. Which is a mouthful, but so's a Jaffa cake. So it can't be all bad now, can it? Recently, I've realised that I've been talking to myself a lot. It keeps on happening and I'm starting to get quite worried. I was talking to myself the other day and we both agreed it was getting out of hand. And on top of that, sometimes I think I overthink things. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. When I was at primary school, my teacher asked me what colour crayon I wanted. By the time I decided I was doing my A-levels. Maybe maybe overthinking things is a good thing. Maybe it isn't a good thing. Someone once asked me to explain myself, so I wrote, edited and published 15 volumes of the life, times and inner workings of Paul Scoble, a practical guide for beginners. Maybe my life would be a lot worse if I didn't overthink things. Maybe it would be better. Maybe it wouldn't be any different at all. Last night I spent 3 hours trying to work out what inquisitiveness might taste like. Maybe I'm not overthinking things. Maybe I'm underacting. Do you ever get the impression that your brain isn't on your side? We don't know who your brain is working for, Mr. Scoble, but it definitely is not working for you. Your mind may be a double agent. Now, although I do occasionally use long words like defenestrate, brobdingnagian, or I don't know, marmalade? Yeah, fuck it, marmalade, that's not enough. That's really a type of camouflage. In many areas, I'm actually very, very ignorant. I don't understand why downloading is illegal. What's wrong with filling pillows with feathers? What have they got against soft furnishings? And I don't understand peer pressure. Why are people letting Victorian seaside architecture tell them what to do? I mean, why is cast iron so damn clever? And I really don't understand businessmen who go on and on and on about networking when you never see them working on a fishing boat. Now, as you can probably see from that, I am pretty stupid and ignorant, but I am at least trying to do something about educating myself. I read a lot. Recently I've been reading a lot of philosophy. I don't understand all of it, and I definitely don't agree with all of it. In my opinion, Nietzsche was more full of shit than a Portaloo after a 3-day curry and real ale festival. Oh, and God save us from the ontological argument. But having said that, I do firmly believe that we can learn from philosophers and great thinkers. For example, irritating ex-DJ Noel Edmonds got in trouble recently because he tweeted that he thought Britain was full. That was after getting stuck in a traffic jam during rush hour. Now, I think that Noel the Beardy Bigot could learn from the Indian political and religious leader Mohandas K. Gandhi. Now, Gandhi said that we should be the change that we want to see in the world. So, Noel, if you think the country's full, be the change that you want to see in the world and fuck off. If you think there's no more room, do the decent thing and make room. Can I just point out that I don't think the country's full? I just want to make that clear. I've been to Mid-Wales. I've been to Cornwall. Country clearly isn't full. Look, there's someone there. The philosopher Schopenhauer developed a system based on renunciation and ascetic practice. Schopenhauer believed that the only way to control the human will was by giving up all pleasures and reducing life to the barest minimal essentials. Schopenhauer was not the life and soul of the party. Unless it was a party with no food, alcohol, music or games, with no talking or laughing, in a house with no furniture or lights. And even then, Schopenhauer would be in the kitchen, sitting in the corner, holding a glass of distilled water that he would not drink. If a person who was prone to taking things to stupid extremes became convinced of Schopenhauer's system, they could be in danger of taking it so far that renunciation could result in them starving themselves to death. So, I've sent copies of all of Schopenhauer's books to Donald Trump. But as he's still here, he clearly hasn't read them. Unfortunately, philosophy isn't a very effective method of assassination. Sorry. Apparently he's still working his way through C-Spot Run. Descartes' great achievement, cognito ergo sum, I think therefore I am, has been a central pillar of philosophy for nearly 400 years. Descartes discounted sense data and instead used the human intellect as a proof of human existence. The fact that there's an intellect to ask the question, do I exist, proves the existence of the mind that is making the inquiry. Sadly, however, this can now be seen as being false. as it has been proven that the cast of Made in Chelsea definitely do exist. It seems a shame that such a sublime piece of philosophical reasoning has been overturned by the existence of a bunch of inbred, upper-class morons. But I think in cases like this, it's best to be philosophical about it. And as that's the end of my set, you're just going to have to be philosophical about that too. So, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.